Hi, Humans here from 30 Day Labs. We just moved into a new home of 30 Day Labs and hope you enjoyed the app business blueprint. Hope it gave you some insights into how an app business works. If you're interested in building your app business, then I'm gonna congratulate you because that's the best way to go because that's where the market is heading. We can see that apps are rising and more people are using their smartphones and tablets basically everywhere. Just take a bus and you would be able to see that everyone's using their smartphones, just checking out different apps and using apps basically. So if we don't see that opportunity and if we miss out on it, then that's not a professional move to do, of course. And the whole idea of kind of building an app business is something that is going to be based on what is trending, and that is professional business ethics. So when you see something's growing, you just jump on the trend and basically take your share of it. And the good thing about apps is that first, it's very easy to get into despite what you think. I hope this mini series gave you an understanding of how easy it really is to submit your app. But because majority of people, they don't know the steps, they think it's a very complicated and kind of hard to do thing to have your own app on the store, or they usually think that they need to come up with the next big idea to be able to make a decent amount of money off the Google Play or App Store. And we just saw that that's not really the case. You can have a very simple app. In fact, the apps that I showed you during this mini series gave you an understanding on how simple you can take your share from the app business. Of course, if you're willing to do the work and implement the stages that I talked about in the blueprint. So for those of you who are willing to go ahead and have your own apps on the store and basically create an income using apps, then I've got my app business class, which is one of the projects I run here at 30 Day Labs, accepting new students. Basically, I open the class once a month or once every 2 months. In the past 3-4 months, I didn't actually open up the class because I was updating some of the parts with the intro of wearable computing and wearable devices. There are new opportunities for you to monetize, and I just wanted to play with the technology and kind of get an idea of what comes next in the next quarter, which is the end of 2014 and the start of 2015. So I've got great news for you. More and more people are going to be using smartphones, tablets. Of course, that's obvious, but the cool thing is that other countries which we couldn't monetize before, now we can monetize them by Google actually taking their infrastructure and Apple taking their infrastructure to those countries, which is very, very exciting. So basically, the app business class is me teaching you how to come up with ideas which will definitely work in the marketplace, how to design your apps, what UI elements are available to us as business owners that we can implement in our apps to build a nice experience for our users. Of course, we're not going to do it ourselves. We want to ask our outsourcers to do it, and that's a very important thing to consider. When your outsourcer knows that you are a professional, you know what you're talking about, they're going to give you real codes, and you can kind of negotiate a better price. Number one concern of people is that they go online, they go to some websites that you can outsource, and basically they look for cheap developers, and they don't know what they're talking about. They're not familiar with the kind of the elements which makes up an app, and they just put a request out there and they get like $2,000-3,000 codes on building a very simple app, which I can get it done for probably $50 or even less than that in some cases. So knowing what you're talking about and actually being familiar with the app industry is a huge, huge deal that you need to consider when it comes to outsourcing. Because, of course, if you are a developer from a third world country and you get a request and you can pick up on the request that the person is not familiar, what you're going to do? You're going to give them a bigger kind of a more expensive code. Why? Because it's going to be more hassle for you dealing with such a person. Because, of course, they're not familiar, they don't know how much work is going to go into an app like that. You can see that they're newbies. Of course, it would be a really hard experience to work with people who don't know what they exactly want because they're not familiar with the platform's capabilities. It's a very simple, probably couple of hours process that you can learn to find out about different UI elements different parts of an app that you can ask your developers to build for you. And there are plenty of other things that no one knows about, but they're using them. Some services that Google or Apple provides you, such as push notifications or alarm services that you can really take advantage of, and you can get it done for like $5, $10 in your app. But unfortunately, because people they don't know about these things, they just put an order out there and they get really crazy codes from developers. So I'm just gonna put it out there so you can see that to get into this market, it's not just about going to some website like Freelancer or Odesk and put a request and get codes. There's so much more to it because when you write your project description, you need to come across as someone who knows what he or she is doing. So that's one thing. The next step that we're going to discuss in the class, I'm going to give you all the details about what I do in my own business. And guess what? You can ask me any question that you want. So basically, if there is a part that is left out or it's specific to your case, we've got a kind of a comment section for each session or lesson that you can just post a question there, and then me personally or one of my staff or basically one of other students might be able to help you with the best solution to your question. The next step we're going to talk about, it's a very important step, but a very easy step to do is publishing your app. Of course, we discussed that in the mini course, just a quick overview on submitting your app to the Google Play. But of course, as anything else, there's a little bit more to that. What kind of screenshots, what sizes? There's a whole bunch of things to the screenshots and your icon to increase the download rate. And of course, how you write your description. All this kind of parts of publishing an app will be discussed in the kind of corresponding module or sessions. Then after you have your app up and running on the store, it comes to basically looking at the stats, the monetization channels that you implemented, the different ways that you're going to make money from the users that are using your app, of course. And we're going to discuss like different strategies that you can monetize. We're going to discuss different strategies that you can improve your channels of kind of user engagement. Then we're going to go to one step forward, and that is basically getting a better exposure through the store's organic traffic, which is absolutely amazing. So we all go to the store and search for different apps. For example, you go to the store and search for recipes app, and there's an algorithm behind the kind of Google Play or App Store which brings up the best apps that's going to suit your query or request. And there are, of course, several factors involved in what apps should come up first. One very kind of important one is the user's rating, and I cannot insist with proper strategies that probably take like maybe 5-10 minutes for a developer to add it to your app. You can beat the whole market and come up as the probably number 1, 2, or 3 app for a specific keyword. Of course, it depends on the market. I'm not claiming that you can just do something for 5-10 minutes and you can come up as number 1 for a category like Google Maps or something. But the markets that we're going to find and we're going to kind of use to grow our apps and grow our businesses, you would be amazed at how many people are actually kind of ignoring that market, and they're not taking advantage of the channels available to us app business owners to increase the rating and increase the app discovery on the market, which is a very, very simple and easy thing to implement, but majority of developers and app business owners, they ignore it. And that's another thing that I want to mention, because your competition is usually app business owners who don't know what they're doing. They're just like outsourcing an app and then they just publish it without having an idea. They spend way too much money on outsourcers and they find app business not being profitable for them. Or they're developers who are kind of not familiar with the business side of it, and for the sake of just being developers, they develop apps which is not going to do well with the people. Rather, it's going to do well with the technology and the next cool thing they can implement in their apps. How do I know that? I was one of those people, and I still am involved with that kind of society, the developer society, and they always go for the next cool thing that they can do to show off to other developers. So that's an advantage. So you can see that by not being a developer, you actually have an advantage over developers. So the very last thing that we're going to talk about, probably not the last thing because I just remember there's another part, is the fact that how you can kind of monitor the whole business and build on it. For example, if you find a market which is very profitable, how can you attack that market from different angles by having parallel kind of apps published on your store, or how you can increase your ad revenue by implementing some really cool strategies that I have designed myself and I absolutely love them. You probably have heard me talking about it during the mini course, and I'm going to reveal all those strategies to you as well. And there are two other modules that are very, very cool. One is me taking you through building an app from scratch, different steps, even the development side of it, and you would be able to see how things work. For example, how a developer works, how kind of publishing works, everything, every single step as a case study sort of thing would be available in a separate module in the class. And one very exciting area that I just mentioned a couple of minutes ago is the enter of wearable devices and, of course, Android TV and Android Auto, a whole new world of kind of monetization opportunities, which I'm very, very excited about. So the last module will be dedicated to building apps for wearables, the monetization strategies, and the things that we can do to take advantage of this new era of smart devices like smart watches, smart TVs, and smart cars. So that's it. If you're interested, details about the class would be below this video. Hope I'll see you in the class because I'm really excited about the things that I share with my students, and hope you get in the class, and I'll see you there.